Hey, everybody, welcome. I'm Hector Navarro, Invincible fan extraordinaire. And with me today is the man himself, Mr. Robert Kirkman, the writer of Invincible, the co creator of the comic book, and the creator of the Invincible animated series premiering on Amazon. Robert, hello, man. How are you?
Hello, everybody. Oh, I'm great, man. It's great to be here with you, Hector. Very excited. I love that we're going to be here talking about Invincible. We're going to finally get to show some things to people that they haven't seen before, give some information out that they don't currently have. And it's going to be very exciting. I'm very excited. You're excited. We're both excited. Let's all be excited together. It's going to be great.
It is incredibly exciting. And we're doing this too because there's also a real special occasion for doing this. We're going to get to that in a second. But I want to let everybody know that we are streaming live on the Prime Video Twitter as well as Skybound's Twitch, which is really awesome. I have to mention that people right now, you can see your tweets appear in the Twitter event page if you use the hashtag Invincible Friday. Once again, that is the hashtag Invincible Friday. And then you're going to be able to see your tweets. And this is the very first Invincible Friday. There's going to be many more of these, a series of Invincible Fridays. Content drops more every single Friday in the coming weeks. So we're so stoked that you're here. So let's just get into it. The reason that we're doing this, Robert, the very special occasion is that it is an anniversary right now in January for the very first issue of Invincible that was released way back when, January 22nd, 2003 was the first issue of the comic book, which is weird because
that's 18 years, right? Is that 18 years?
Yeah, but it doesn't, I'm doing the same thing your brain is doing right now. It does not feel like it was 18 years ago, but in case people don't know, it's my single favorite comic book series of all time. And the first issue alone is really, really special. It's a beautiful issue. It is incredibly fun and funny and efficient. You set up so much stuff in that first issue, Robert. So I want to get into it and talk about, if we can go back and talk about the first issue of the comic book. First of all, where did the idea for the Invincible series come from? Tell us about that.
Yeah, I mean, the idea basically came from Corey Walker and I had done a Super Patriot miniseries at Image Comics. And we knew that Image Comics at the time had kind of recognized that they hadn't been doing a lot of superhero books. And so I found out that they were trying to, encourage people to do more superhero books, to put together like a new superhero line. And so I went to Corey and I was like, hey, Image is looking for a new superhero book. Let's do one. And we sat down together and we tried to come up with a universe that basically has everything that we love about superheroes, like all packed in, so that in success, if the series lasted for a good long while, which we never thought in a million years would be possible, we could do any kind of superhero story we wanted and it would fit in this universe. So, I always loved teen superheroes and I love big, sprawling, epic superhero stories that continue to expand and grow over time to get more complicated and more insane. It's something that comic book fans just absolutely adore. And, we just wanted to set something up that could start small and grow into something big and just be everything that we've ever wanted out of a superhero comic.
It is an incredibly rich universe that you guys built, and you start with issue 1 and it does feel like, oh, this feels like a comic book that has been around for decades, like one of those super famous superheroes that has all the movies made about them and stuff. Yeah. And everything that you guys set out to do is exactly what had happened. What do you remember about the launch for the first issue back in 2003? What do you remember about it?
I mean, next to nothing. I think it was exciting because we were on the cover of the Previews catalog, which is a big catalog for comics, and we were part of Image's superhero line. But
in case young people are watching right now and they don't know what a catalog is, it's a book. There's paper, and it would tell you what the upcoming comic books were. This is before the age of digital, so it's very exciting. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's a big paper book that told people how to order paper books. So if you're into paper books, that's the paper book to look at. I don't know, man. It's just 18 years of Invincible. You're just making me feel like a grandpa. But
hey, how do you think I feel? I was Mark's age when the series started, and I don't know how old Mark is now, but maybe we're around the same age. But it's crazy to think about even what the superhero world was in 2002, what the pop culture world was in 2003. This is January. Yeah. Just to give everybody a heads up, the second Lord of the Rings movie had just come out the winter before. The year before, the Star Wars Episode 2 Attack of the Clones had come out. That's where we were in Star Wars, is Attack of the Clones had come out. And then I think my favorite example to really get everybody's head in the right space, the first Spider-Man movie had just come out, not the first one from 2017, not the first one from 2012. The first Spider-Man movie from 2002, the one directed by Sam Raimi with Tobey Maguire, had just come out the summer before. To give you an idea of where we were in pop culture with superheroes, this was the beginning. This was the beginning. And you and Corey and Ryan and everybody who worked on the book were able to ride that the entire time. And Invincible, like I was saying earlier, the first issue is super special. I don't want to give too much away, but it's also not indicative of what the series ultimately is and where it goes. It's a beautiful setup. And then just a few issues later, it gets nuts. But what stands out to you, Robert, about just that first issue, about issue 1?
I mean, I think it's really effective in what you were talking about. It sets a tone. It tells you who the characters are. It introduces you to the world. It kind of gives you a sense of what to expect from the series, which is ultimately wrong. Which I think that's really the magic of comic book storytelling. You can do wild tonal shifts, things that would make a general audience completely uncomfortable with the story. You can, and we've done that in crazy ways with Invincible. Flip from like a comedy to a horror, like in one page, lots of crazy stuff. And and I'm happy that we've actually been able to maintain a little bit of that surprise and just massive tonal shifts in the series that I think will really excite our television audience.
It's my favorite story to tell people nothing about. It really is. Like, you got to read this, but I can't. I wish I could tell you, exactly why I love it. But again, that first issue sets up these characters, and I think that one thing that the first issue does tell you about, that the whole world and the series is about these characters, and Mark specifically. Mark Grayson from the get is written to be this kid, this young guy who is really funny and smart and kind of like logical. The way that he sees the world of a superhero universe, he makes decisions and he says things that you as the reader, you feel like, yeah, that's what I would do. That's what I would say. That makes sense. And I think that everything that he encounters in his life, and boy, oh boy, does he encounter some stuff, he meets it. And it's that same kid that you meet in that first issue. It's that same Mark who's got such a great head on his shoulders and is really smart and really cool about everything. And he's got a crappy after-school job that he has to go to. And then that's when he discovers his powers, when he throws the bag of trash and he says, finally, and then the series is going. So the other thing I really want to talk about, Robert, is that me being such a fan of the series, I've followed it since I was a kid. I know that in the beginning, as soon as you guys had that, okay, let's go. We're doing this. This is a comic book series. You said, Robert, I want this thing to last forever. I want Invincible, the comic, to be as long-lived as something like Spider-Man or Batman, where other creative teams would come on and just keep the character going.
Yeah.
And then at some point, you changed your mind. And you certainly did. And that's the beauty of this series. And then you decide to give the ending a definitive ending for the story at 144 issues. Talk to us about sort of where your headspace was at in the beginning and kind of why that decision changed.
I mean, in the beginning, I thought that it would be cool to have Invincible become something like the next Superman or the next Spider-Man, where I, as an old man, would get to watch creative teams I couldn't relate to, tell stories I didn't understand, and sit back and say, oh, these kids, what are they doing with my creation? I thought that would be like a fun thing. But as I got deeper and deeper into the story of Invincible and, like just exploring that world and seeing what we did year after year with the series, it was always about playing against type. It was always about putting a new coat of paint on the superhero genre and just kind of always zigging when people expect you to zag. And I started to realize, like, we had been building something that could kind of work as a whole piece and could kind of have a definitive end that would make the story more meaningful and would make the story, I don't know, like seem like it was a journey that you were on that had a beginning, middle, and an end. And in a way, I think it's a way to reward people who had been with us for, the series lasted 16 years, to give them something that was like had some finality to it. And I thought that was the best way to subvert what people expect from a long running superhero series. People don't expect long running successful superhero comics to end. And so that's when, we decided to do it.
Absolutely. Yeah. Like I said, Robert, at first I almost felt betrayed because I too wanted to be a 90-year-old man who didn't understand the newfangled Invincible reboot, this and that, whatever. What? This is a hologram? I don't know. But then everything you just described, it's like, yeah, you're right. The series is something that when you're as sort of well-versed in the superhero canon with all the different characters that we have in our world, Invincible is this amazing, like nostalgic breath of fresh air. It's lives in that world, but it's like you said, it does everything. It's your sort of take on those stories. And I was ecstatic to know that you got to kind of make that call and bring in that finality. And I think it was awesome. And I think it makes the series all the more special. So we got some stuff we have to catch up on, Robert. We got some, Yeah, you didn't think this was going to be This Is Your Life, Robert Kirkman.
No,
hello.
Please.
Yeah.
It's all positive and compliments. And then, I enjoy this. Tell me
And then
more.
you did Battle Pope. And then, okay. Okay. So we have some stuff to catch up on. There were some amazing announcements in terms of the cast for this show, which I think we can say has the greatest cast of any television series of all time. Like I'm
think
pretty
that's
sure.
Definitive. I don't
Definitive.
think it's not possible to argue against that point.
Not an exaggeration. No, but some of the announcements that have been made, we've got Clancy Brown as Damian Darkblood. Clancy Brown. I mean, this is Lex Luthor of the DC animated universe. This is Shawshank Redemption, Highlander. This is Clancy Brown. Also Mr. Krabs. It's Clancy Brown. He's amazing. Then we've got Jaimon Hansu as the Martian Emperor. Like, that's an incredible actor for an incredible kind of a smaller part. This is an amazing cast that you're doing. This Martian Emperor that we meet at one point in the comic book series. Does this mean that we're going to get some of these characters to be a little bit more chewy, a little bit more fleshed out, or are you just showing off? Are you just showing off with your Hollywood connections?
There's definitely a lot that can be assumed from the casting, I think. I don't want to reveal too much, but it's possible that we'll be getting to see more of these characters, or when we do see them, there will be a lot more to their role, to their appearance. And
That is what is so exciting for me as a fan of the comic, to be able to see this story told in this new way, and certain things will be added and changed and remixed. I'm incredibly excited. Ezra Miller as D.A. Sinclair. Come on. Perfect casting. You've got Jeffrey Donovan as Machine Head. Nicole Byer as two new characters, Fiona and Vanessa. We got new characters in this, Robert. What's going on?
There's a lot of new characters in this, actually.
Speaking of new characters, another new character, Steve, voiced by, John Hamm. What? What's happening? Another favorite supporting character of mine, Rick Sheridan. Great character, is going to be voiced by Jonathan Groff, which is amazing. From Frozen, incredibly talented guy. And then you've got one of my favorite actors, one of the greatest actors working today, Mahershala Ali, is voicing Titan, who you meet in issue 1, who you meet this character in the first issue for the comic book series, which is amazing. I mean, I'm at a loss for words, Robert. Just reflect on that cast for a second, please.
I mean, this has been such a gift to be able to do this show and to go back and revisit this world and get to know these characters again and get to explore them some more. But by far, hearing their voices for the first time and knowing that these actors are doing these voices, and I look, I'll just tell you, I have cried many times in the recording booth. I have illegally recorded a lot of recording sessions on my phone so that I could listen to them over and over again without having to bug anybody on the show. I shouldn't admit that. I don't care. But it's been just a wild ride, hearing the voices of these characters and knowing that this caliber of actor across the board is portraying all these, beloved characters in my house, at least.
Did you ever think, when you guys were doing the comic book, did you ever think that this would ever be adapted into an animated series at one point?
I mean, it's the dream, really. I mean, every comic book fan is a huge animation fan. And if you look at something like Invincible, you could do a movie, and we're trying to do a movie, and that movie is going to be super awesome. But, you want to do something that is going to be able to show the scope of this story. And this animated series is really the perfect way to do that. So yeah, we never thought in a million years that we would be this fortunate to have it happen at this level. But we're very happy and very lucky.
Were there ever any moments writing these characters in the past, I keep saying almost 20 years, which is insane, but were there any times where you as a writer where you thought, when I'm writing this character, I picture this voice, and then it turns out to be that you can cast that actor? Because I'm like, how could you not think about Michael Dorn as Battle Beast? It's just the most perfect, amazing.
So Battle Beast is one of my favorite characters in the series. It's a lot of people's favorite character in the series. And I am a huge Star Trek The Next Generation fan. And a huge Worf fan all the way through Deep Space Nine and the movies and all that stuff. So I hate to admit this, but I've only ever been writing Worf. When I write Battle Beast, I try to think of, the kind of thing that Worf would say, and I'm just writing Worf fan fiction in the dialogue. The character is very different, whatever. But to have Michael Dorn doing the voice, was when I found out that he was willing to do it, I was just like, this is the biggest moment, possibly in my life. I can't believe this is happening. And that is definitely, I think I recorded his entire voice session and I would just play it on a loop for days afterwards.
Just holding up your phone, just tears streaming from your face. Like, I can't believe it's Michael. It's Worf. That's amazing.
So great.
Great. And it's so great because he also happens to be, on top of being a Star Trek living legend, he also is an insanely talented voice actor. Yes. It's just perfect. It's perfect.
And one of the nicest humans I've ever had the opportunity to meet. I was all of the Next Generation cast. I've met a lot of them, and they all are the greatest people ever, which is the best news for a fan.
Robert, are you spoiled now as a writer? If you're working on a new story, a new comic book, something like Firepower, do you have to hold back with your own fan casting because you're like, I can't, knowing that, maybe at some point, someday,
I try not to do it just because, it's more fun in the casting process to be working with a casting director and then say, okay, here's, who we've talked to and who might be available. And then you're just like, oh my gosh, you're excited and blown away. I feel like if I pinpointed different actors for different characters, that just kind of leads to disappointment because you never know who's available and all that kind of stuff. So I try not to think about it, to be honest. But yeah, I'm constantly surprised when these cast lists get shown to me, and it's like, whoa, really? This is going to be great.
All of these actors are so insanely talented. I can't wait to see what they bring to these characters. Not that I already don't love these characters, but it's like, man, what their performances are going to do, what they can bring to life with these voices and these characters. I can't wait to see it. So,
I mean, it's amazing across the board, and I can't say just how spectacular it is. I mean, even a character like Adam Eve that I've been writing for 16 years, that I feel like I know inside and out. Like when you hear Gillian Jacobs and how she portrays the character, and just different things that she does with her voice, it's just like, I finally know this character. This is crazy.
I can't wait. I cannot wait. All right. Speaking of not waiting, I think the time has come, Robert. Let us share a clip that you brought. We have a clip here that we're going to show.
Hold on, let me dig it out.
Okay, an extended clip. Yeah, please go ahead and dig it out. There we go. There we go.
You seem tired.
I'm fine. Just got a lot on my mind, I guess.
Oh, yeah? So, what is it?
You're just gonna keep prying if I'm evasive at all, so, I'm scared, Dad. What if I can't do this?
You hear it?
I do.
Get ready. Were you nervous?
A little.
But you caught it.
I did.
Being a superhero is no different. This is the beginning of a long journey for you and me. Along the way, you're going to need to do things you don't want to do or might not think you can do. It's okay to be scared. It's natural to doubt yourself. But if you can push through that and do what needs to be done, You'll do just fine. You think you can do that, Mark?
Yeah.
Son, kids your age think they're invincible, and it holds them back, makes them careless. The thing is, you're different. You actually are invincible.
Got it.
Okay, kid. Let's get to work.
Well, Hector?
Wow. Dude, I loved every second of that. Are you kidding me? That was amazing. That was so good. The animation is gorgeous. People are going to love it. But like, that scene was so well written. And it felt like Nolan, the father, was talking to his son, Mark, and talking to Mark about what Mark was going to go through. And if you're a fan of the comic, you're like, oh my God, it's so good. It's so good.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
It was kind of fun being back in that scene because it kind of appears in the comic, but not really. And you can kind of see if you're a comic book fan, like how we're doing, like that's a scene you understand and you've seen, but there's a lot of difference to it. And knowing, because when I wrote that scene in the comic book, I had no idea, what was ahead for Mark in the way that I do now. And so it was a lot of fun being able to try and put some little tweaks to that dialogue for longtime fans to be like, oh.
Yeah. I love that. I mean, this is something that your career has been built on, which is this amazing comic book series. And then the adaptation comes out and it's different. And you're letting all the fans know that's part of the fun. That is what the Walking Dead television series was. And it was a thrill as a Walking Dead comic fan to also watch along and to be able to, oh my gosh, this is completely different. Shane should not be in the picture. Like that's the whole point of the Walking Dead and the adaptations that we get and the sort of remixes. And I just have to point out too, as a comic book fan, I think it's so cool and so smart and so brilliant that in the comic book, at the end of that first issue, Mark's principal is the one who's having a conversation with him, Mr. Winslow, Principal Winslow, and he tells him, "You're not invincible, And then that's where that inspiration comes from. And here in the show, it's a conversation with his father, and it's like a completely different context. And I am just really excited to see what else, that's going to lead to. Plus, we got to talk about this. I mean, we had Stephen Yeun, J.K. Simmons, amazing in that scene, and it was so like Stephen was so vulnerable as Mark. Yeah. I love that. That's Mark, man. That's who he is. That's great. And JK was just the most amazing fatherly, like his voice is dad's voice and everything. Then we got a little peek of Mark Hamill.
Yeah,
as Art Rosenbaum.
Art the Taylor. Yeah,
come on, Art the Taylor. That's what. Let's just talk about these actors right there. You got Mark Hamill in the show, man. Mark Hamill is in the show, Robert.
Yeah, it's still it's very much a pinch yourself kind of situation, I mean, and just again, the nicest guy and such a talent, brought so much to that role. Being able, I had a long conversation with Mark Hamill before he started doing the voice about what I saw from Art Rosenbaum, and like he tried out a bunch of different voices. Like, what do you think of this? Do you think of this? Do you like this? Do you like this? And it was just the whole time in my head I'm going, I'm talking to Luke Skywalker. I can't believe I'm talking to Luke Skywalker. And he's been a Joker. He's done many other things. And he's just an absolute legend. But yeah, just it's amazing to have all these people be a part of it. Mark Hamill is just extra special and has been fantastic. And you guys will see that Art is a essential character to the show, and Mark really brings it.
I love it, man. I love the cast of the Invincible series in the comic. I love each one of the supporting characters. Robert, you yourself acknowledged, everybody's favorite character is Battle Beast and these weird kind of crazy villains that are introduced and these secondary, tertiary characters. And when we get to the sort of core of these characters, you've got Mark, you've got Nolan, you've got Debbie, you've got Art. Eve. I love each one of these characters, and it kind of blew my mind how excited I was to even just see Art the tailor. Like, I'm like, oh, it's my favorite character, Art Rosenbaum. Like, it's so crazy how attached I am to these characters, man. You guys got me hook, line, and sucker. I'll tell you what, I'm in, baby. Let's do this. Give me more. I want to see more. Okay.
One down, 100 million to go.
All right. So now comes an incredibly exciting moment. Robert, you are going to drop the release date for the Invincible TV series for us right now. Yeah.
Are we supposed to?
What it says in the script, that's what you're going to do, Robert.
I don't feel like it. Let's not do it.
Okay. Oh boy,
Let's save it. Let's save it for a few more weeks. What do you think? I feel like people haven't waited enough to know exactly what day this series is finally going to debut.
It's this year at least. It's 2021.
I'll say it's this year. I'll say it's in the first half of this year. Can we get away with that? Can we just stop there? It's the first half of this year, guys. Come on, first half of 2021. Like what else do you need?
I've never done this before, Robert, and I can't imagine I'll ever do it again. But okay, damn it, man. Come on. You're killing me.
Okay.
Robert Kirkman. Okay.
Invincible on Amazon Prime, Friday, March 26th.
Yes. Yes. And this is incredibly exciting. It's not a just one episode release on that Friday, correct? What do we got?
We're debuting 3 episodes, the first 3 episodes on March 26th. And then every episode will continue weekly after that through the 8-episode run. So you'll get 3 episodes, get to know the series. And then every Friday you get a new episode, exactly how they launched The Boys season 2 at Amazon, which is a spectacular show. And I can't commend this release schedule enough. I think that a lot of people, may have complained about The Boys launch for season 2 just because they're just hungry for more of that stuff. But when you release the entire season on the same day, the conversation that you have with your friends is always, oh my gosh, have you watched this? It's spectacular. Oh, I'm only on episode 3. Where are you? I'm on episode 2. And then the conversation stops and no one talks about the show. But when you do it this way, you get to experience it week to week, and people have time to consume the show, and then everyone's on the same page, and you get to talk to your buddies like, oh my God, this happened. Can you believe when that guy's head exploded? And oh my God, I didn't know they were going to kill that character. I'm not saying these things are going to happen in Invincible, but they're probably going to happen in Invincible. So,
I can't wait. I can't wait. And the other exciting thing is that every week those viewers can join that conversation with hashtag Invincible Friday for the live tweets with the cast and the crews. That's something that's happening. That's awesome.
It's going to be great.
Oh my God. I can't wait to be doing it. I'm going to be doing reactions, watching each episode with my friends. I cannot wait. I'm
going to be hashtagging so much.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's going to be some hashtags, but Robert, when are we going to be able to see an official trailer for the Invincible animated series?
Are we announcing that date? You put me on the spot.
I don't think we're announcing
we're not announcing that date.
But
good.
It says here in the script, in the coming weeks, it says, Robert, to let viewers know to keep an eye out for the trailer in the coming weeks. So Robert, when are we going to see that trailer?
Sorry, I should have been more prepared. In the coming weeks, we will be revealing a brand new full-length trailer. We did a teaser trailer before. Now we're going to show you a little bit more. And I've seen it. And it's pretty great. I think people are going to really like it. It shows a lot, but not too much. So that's really cool.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, if you think about the teaser trailer, like we hid so much. We held so much back. There are so many characters that you do not even see in that teaser trailer. And in this coming trailer, you will see a lot more characters.
Oh my gosh, man. If I see Battle Beast, I am going to lose it, Robert. I'm going to lose it. I mean, even just comparing the teaser trailer to that to the clip we just saw, the teaser did show us a little bit of the father-son baseball catch, a little bit. And then we actually got to see this clip, and it's like, oh, that's this beautiful, like fleshed out scene. And this dialogue is so good. And the acting is amazing. And so I just cannot wait to see more of this show. This is an incredibly exciting time for fans of Invincible, specifically for me, because it's my favorite comic book series of all time. So I can't wait for the rest of the world to discover this thing that I already know.
It's funny you should say that, Hector, because we did this show exclusively for you.
You know what? I knew I was in the Truman Show or the Matrix. I knew it. It's me. I'm the center of the universe. Cannot wait. Michael Dorn casting for me, not Robert. It was for me. All right. So Robert, I want to thank you so much, man, for dropping the release date, for sharing that clip with us, and just for reminiscing and talking about this comic book series. It means so much to me and so much to so many fans. And I'm just thrilled that I'm going to be able to share my love of these characters with even more people. I want to remind everybody that Invincible arrives on Prime Video March 26th, Friday, 3 episodes, March 26th. And you can follow Invincible HQ on Twitter. Tune in for more hashtag Invincible Fridays starting next week. And be sure to subscribe to YouTube channel with me and my buddies, Heroes Reforged. We're going to be giving you a bunch of Invincible news and content. We're reading the comic book series right now from the beginning so that you can go back and catch up with us. It has been awesome. It's been amazing. So go check that out on YouTube. And once again, Robert, thank you so much, man. This has been awesome.
No, this has been great. Thank you. I hope that we do it again soon.